HBO's The Last of Us begins with Dr. Newman describing the dangers of the cordyceps fungus. The gist being, if the fungus was able to evolve to manipulate humans the way it currently does ants, the human race as we know it is over.
Jesus, talk about foreshadowing.
Cut to Joel Miller and his daughter Sara in Austin, Texas. It's Joel's birthday, and Sarah's getting his watch fixed for him as a gift. It's clear something is wrong when the shopkeeper's partner ushers Sara out of the shop and closes early. On the other side of the world, Jakarta, Indonesia, there's an unknown chaos which has hit the city. In the first episode, the Millers almost ate multiple things with flour in them, including the neighbor's cookies and Joel's forgotten birthday cake.
Where's the cake?
Shit.
Come on, man.
I'll get us one tomorrow.
Lucky for them, they don't eat anything with flour in it because in hindsight, that is most likely how the fungus spread to humans. Sara returns home, and Joel is forced to leave because his brother Tommy was arrested. In the middle of the night, Sarah is awakened to Air Force jets and helicopters flying overhead and dropping bombs in the area. She goes outside to see the neighbor's dog wandering around and she tries to return it. When she goes into the home, the grandmother seems to be feeding on the grandfather and has some strange tentacles growing out of her mouth. The grandmother sees Sara and chases her, but Joel and Tommy are able to arrive just in time to save her. Joel and Tommy decide to leave the city, and what they see on the way is bedlam. People and cars are everywhere, blocking their attempts to leave. A plane crashes out of the sky onto the street next to them. And Sarah's ankle is broken as a result. There is widespread chaos, and in the chaos, a soldier shoots Sara and kills her. Tommy is able to save Joel's life, shooting the soldier before he can kill Joel. Flash forward 20 years to 2023, and groups of people are surviving in walled quarantine zones protected by the iron-fisted Fedra. Because of Fedra's many abuses of power, a resistance group known as the Fireflies springs up. The fungus spreads from person to person when bitten by an individual who carries it. Once someone has a wound caused by someone carrying the cordyceps infection, they have at most 24 hours before they turn. Joel is still alive, and he's living in current-day Boston, and he's looking to get out of the city to help his brother who lives in Wyoming. Joel is being helped by his longtime partner, Tess. They have a vehicle, but they need a working battery to get it running. Working batteries are hard to come by in this world, and the individual who was going to sell them a battery betrays them, instead trying to sell it to the Fireflies. At the battery sale, a shootout ensues between the Fireflies and the seller, because the battery in fact doesn't work. Marlene, the leader of the Boston chapter of Fireflies, is injured in the fight. After the shootout, Joel and Tess show up looking for the battery, but instead they find the aftermath of the battle. Marlene wanted the battery because she found something very special. Marlene found a 14-year-old girl named Ellie. Ellie is special because she was bitten by a cordyceps-infected individual, but she seems to be immune to the fungus because she hasn't turned. She was bitten almost 3 weeks ago, and no one lasts over a day. Marlene wants Joel and Tess to take Ellie to a drop-off point in Colorado, so the Fireflies can examine Ellie to see how she is immune to the infection, because she could be the key to a cure. Ellie, Joel, and Tess find the truck and supplies the Fireflies prepared for them, but every one of the Fireflies there is dead. Along the way, Tess is infected and sacrifices herself so Joel and Ellie can escape after they run into a horde of infected. We learn that if people are infected long enough, the fungus will grow its way out of the person's body to the point they no longer look human. They'll turn into alien-looking things called clickers. We learn also that the fungus can communicate across great distances through some sort of hive mind effect. At this point, Joel and Ellie are on their own, and they're on foot. Joel is the grizzled but stubborn old man, and Ellie is the emotionally fragile but quirky teenager with a penchant for telling jokes.
Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
Yeah. It runs in your genes.
Ellie and Joel need supplies, and Joel takes them to Bill's home. Bill's house is a highly protective, self-sustaining compound, which is heavily supplied. Joel is able to get into the compound because he knows the passcode to get past the electric fence. There they find a truck, food, guns, and ammunition. When they arrive, they learn that Bill and his partner Frank have died by suicide after living long and fulfilling lives together. Episode 3, which is one of the better hours of TV you can watch, details Bill and Frank's history together. After collecting supplies, Joel and Ellie make their way to Colorado. On their way to Colorado, Joel and Ellie run into a roadblock when they reach Kansas City. Fedra in Kansas City has recently been overthrown by a group of resistors led by Kathleen Coghlan. Joel and Ellie are forced to go through the city to avoid the roadblock, and when they do, they are ambushed by members of the resistance group. Joel ends up fighting off the men with Ellie's help, but the vehicle is totaled. Ellie reveals with some remorse that this wasn't the first time she's had to shoot someone. Joel decides to go to the tallest building in sight to get a better look at the city so they can plan their escape route. When the two wake up in the building, they have guns pointed at them by Henry and Sam. Henry tells Joel they should help each other, since he's never fired a gun before, but he knows how to get out of the city. Henry is on the run from Kathleen because Kathleen is on a mission to track him down. Henry was an informer that turned her brother over to Fedra, who eventually killed him. Henry did so because Fedra were the only ones which had access to medicine that could help Sam with his leukemia. Henry tells Joel his plan is to take them out of the city through the sewers. Fedra pushed out all the infected into the sewers long ago, so this could be dangerous, but a Fedra employee told Henry they cleared the sewers out of all infected recently, before they were overthrown. Once the group makes their way out of the city, they get pinned down by a sniper who radios to Kathleen. Kathleen's group arrives heavily armed. Joel was able to get behind the sniper and kill him, and then he starts shooting at the resistance group. Joel hits the driver of a giant truck with a plow attached to the front. The truck crashes into a building, explodes, and falls into the ground. Out of the hole comes a massive amount of infected. Included in the infected is a bloater. Bloaters are incredibly strong infected, which are covered in thick fungus, which effectively acts as armored plates. Bullets don't seem to do anything against them. The infected overwhelm the resistance group and allow Joel, Ellie, Henry, and Sam to escape. The group isn't unscathed, however, because Sam was bitten. Ellie tries to rub her blood on Sam to save him from the infection, but in the morning Sam is turned and he attacks Ellie. Henry is forced to shoot Sam in order to save Ellie, and he can't believe what he just did, so he turns the weapon on himself. Ellie and Joel make it to Colorado and are making their way toward the Firefly facility when they are surrounded by a group on horseback. After both Ellie and Joel test negative for the virus, the group brings them back to their settlement where Joel sees his brother Tommy. The group tells Ellie and Joel how to get to the Firefly facility, but once they're there, they realize it's been abandoned and the group moved on. A group of men show up while they are in the building, and Joel is stabbed in the encounter. Ellie is forced to take care of Joel in a local home, stitching him up and keeping him warm, however Joel is dying. When taking care of Joel, Ellie flashes back to her past as a Fedra youth. Ellie and her friend Riley go to a mall, which Riley figured out is being powered. Riley was also a Fedra youth, until she ran away to join the Fireflies. The two enjoy their final day together, going to the mall arcade, taking photos in a photo booth, and eventually kissing. This last day is ruined when Ellie and Riley are attacked by an infected person who bites both of them. Based on Ellie's earlier comments about it not being the first time she shot somebody, we can guess that Riley turned, Ellie forced to shoot her. Ellie was then most likely picked up by the Fireflies in Boston, and they realized she had some sort of immunity to the fungus. Back in current day, Ellie is out hunting a deer, and she kills it, and two men also come across the deer. Their group is starving, and they want to trade medicine for a piece of the carcass. Ellie finds out that this group is connected to the people who met them at the facility, and they are looking for revenge because Joel killed one of them. Worse yet, we learn that the group is led by a cult leader named David, and they have resorted to cannibalism to survive. Ellie tries to lead the group away from Joel on a horse, but one of them shoots the horse, and Ellie is thrown. Three of the men begin looking for Joel, but he's able to kill them after getting the best dose of penicillin known to man.
Ow! No wonder people do drugs!
David takes Ellie back to their facility and tries to turn her into a cult member, and when this doesn't work, they plan on killing her and eating her. Ellie is able to cause them pause after biting David and telling him he's now infected. She uses this split second to grab a knife and kill his partner. Ellie runs out of the kitchen into the mess hall where a fire ensues. Ellie is able to kill David in a fight and exits the facility where she reconnects with Joel. Flashback to a pregnant woman running through the woods. She's being chased by an infected individual and she makes her way into a farmhouse. The infected individual catches up with her and she's able to kill it, but it bites her at basically the same moment the baby is born. The woman is Ellie's mom and the baby is Ellie. It looks like she got just enough cordyceps virus to build up an immunity to it. Marlene enters the room and takes Ellie and shoots her mother at the mother's request because she's infected. Back to present day, and Ellie and Joel are making their way to Salt Lake City because that is where the map from the Colorado facility made it look like the Fireflies were going. While in the city, at a long since abandoned emergency medical camp, a group of people incapacitate Joel and Ellie with a flash bag, and they take them away. When Joel wakes up, he's met by Marlene, who tells Joel that Ellie is going into surgery. The doctor thinks the cordyceps infection has been growing slowly in Ellie since her birth, and it makes her immune. He thinks he can remove it and multiply the cells, and that could lead to a cure. However, the surgery will kill Ellie because the cordyceps infection manifests in the brain. Joel doesn't want them to do the surgery because Ellie is incredibly important to him now. He tells her before they were taken by the Fireflies that time didn't heal his wounds, that something else helped him heal, implying that her being in his life helped him more than anything. Marlene tells her men to take Joel out to the highway and give him his stuff, and send him on his way. She says if he tries anything, shoot him. Joel overwhelms the two men escorting him, and he ends up killing a handful more before he gets to Ellie's surgery room. Joel shoots the doctor and carries Ellie out of the room to the garage. Marlene is waiting for Joel in the garage, and she has a gun pointed at him. She tries to reason with him that it's either Ellie or the human race. Joel picks Ellie over everything else, and he shoots Marlene. When driving back to Tommy's camp, Ellie wakes up and Joel tells her that there are many people with Ellie's condition, and the Fireflies didn't need her. When the two are a 5-mile hike away from Tommy's camp, Ellie looks like she doesn't believe what Joel has told her, and she tells him about her friend Riley, confirming that she was the one who shot her. Then she asks Joel if he was telling the truth, and Joel lies, telling her he told the truth, but it looks like Ellie doesn't believe him. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.